This is Schluter Ditra Heat. It's an uncoupling mat. So you want to make sure that you fill all the cavities and voids in the uncoupling mat completely. It's very important that this be done, and it's actually quite easy with the Ditra Heat mat. And then trowel out the thinset and gauge it with the notch side of the trowel. Usually you want to go have the lines of the trowels going all in one direction. So you also want to keep the angle of the trowel always pretty consistent, so that you're not changing the depth of the notches, so they're always the same depth, and that'll help keep the tiles aligned as far as height relative to each other. And you want to have always straight lines for the thinset. That way you can collapse the bridges. If you get swirls, then you can't collapse the bridges of the thinset, and you won't get proper coverage. Proper coverage for an interior installation in a dry area is 85%. In a wet area, it's 95%. Although back buttering is not absolutely required, I pretty much do it all the time, unless it's a very small tile or if it's a mosaic tile. It's a very good idea because it'll key the thinset into the back of the tile. What keying means is actually it pushes the thinset into the grooves and crevices of the tile, so you get a better bond. So it's actually always a good idea to do, and I do it pretty much all the time, unless there's a specific reason not to. But most of the time when I install large format tiles, I'll use a leveling system, or I like to refer to them as lippage systems. And I just want to be perfectly clear about these systems. These systems are not meant to compensate for bad floor prep or uneven floors or wavy floors. They are meant to control lippage, nothing else. They're meant to tune the lippage between tiles. If you're going to use them, try and use them to straighten out a floor, it's not going to work. Then that's not the purpose of these systems. Now, the thing about these leveling systems is you've got a clip that goes between the tiles, and you want to make sure you keep your grout lines clear, so when you break them off, they break off cleanly and you're not breaking bases. So it's very important, not with just this system, but with any system, to keep your grout lines clear. And that's what you see me doing here. Is I'm raking the sides of the tile. When I put the tile in, I'm not squeezing a thinset between the grout lines and up between the grout lines. Compromise the edge of the tile, because as you're pushing the tile down, you're going to be pushing thinset out towards the edges of the tile, and you will get complete coverage. Another important thing to keep in mind when you're installing tile is you want to leave adequate room for expansion and contraction. Do not install your tile so it's tight up against the wall. If you take your baseboard off, then you can leave some room at the wall, and then when you put your baseboard on, then it'll cover that gap and you'll have adequate room for expansion and contraction. If the baseboard is on, then you're going to still leave that room, and then when you go to grout, you're going to actually caulk that joint so that you have a soft joint at the wall. Very important. Room be left for expansion and contraction. So just one little interesting tidbit of information here is that years ago you didn't see any of these leveling systems, and people would just, installers would just use their fingertips to feel the that that the tiles are aligned properly and that there's one's not sticking up. Today tiles are getting much bigger, and that has caused the development of these tile tuning systems, or these lippage systems or leveling systems, to help with the installation of the tile to avoid lippage. Now, because the tiles are so big now, they're actually not flat. They usually have a crown in the middle of the tile. So there's tiles are, even if you look on the box of the tile, most times on the boxes of the tile, it'll have that you're supposed to stagger these tiles by a third, at the very most a third, and you're not supposed to put them in a half. I'm actually doing that on this installation. I am putting it at a third. Now, because of the size of the tiles, these are actually very helpful for installing a tile and getting the tile flat. So here you also see me using a cross laser. This is specifically made for floors, and that is what helps you line up your lines as they go across the tile. You don't have to use it. You can use a chalk line, or you can use a straight edge, or you can use something, but a laser level will actually help keep your tiles aligned properly, so that the staggers actually, when you look down the floor, all the staggered lines will line up properly. So you can't finish every install in the same day. But because I'm using a lippage system here, or a leveling system, I want to have the clips set into the tiles, or under the tiles, for the next day. So if you just set the clips under the tile, at the edge of the tile for the day, and just walk away from it, as the thinset dries, it might push those clips out. So when you come back the next day and try and set your tile, you might have a wider grout line. So I will scrape any residual thinset off the floor and get it as clean as possible. And then, to hold the clips in place, what I'll do is get some scrap tile, place it up against the finished edge of the tile where I'm leaving it for the day, and put the wedge in. So the next day when I come back, as you can see here, I'll pull out the scrap tile and my clips will be in place, perfectly aligned and ready to start tiling, and they won't have moved because the wedges have held it in place. So you're going to be ready to go. So now, the next day, I'm going to remove all my clips. And what you do is you get a rubber mallet, or if you've got some hard steel-toed shoes, you can kick them. But you get a rubber mallet and you just hit the clips and wedges in the same direction as the grout line. You don't want to go across, but you want to go in the same direction, in line with the grout line. And if you've kept your grout lines clear, they will all break off cleanly. So when you finish your tile in a doorway where it's going to meet another flooring material like carpet or hardwood or whatever, it's always a good idea to install a metal to protect the edge of the tile. So here I'm using a Schluter metal. It's actually Schluter sheen, and you cut it to length. You spread your thinset. You insert your metal, and then you fill the metal leading edge that goes under the tile with thinset. You're going to make sure that it is filled with thinset, and that it's gonna, when you put your tile on, you're going to get proper coverage. A lot of these metals are installed incorrectly because they'll just place the metal and place the tile. No, you want to make sure you have adequate thinset on the leading edge of the metal that goes under the tile, so that when you press your tile in, it'll be completely embedded in the thinset. So once you've finished your tile install, you've cleaned up and you left adequate time for the mortar to dry under the tile, it's time to grout. Today there are many different kinds of grouts available. You still have your standard cementitious grouts with you just mix. Then you have additives that you can add to those grouts which make them more stain resistant. Then you've got advanced cementitious grouts which are very stain resistant. And you've got urethane grouts, you've got epoxy grouts. There's a million different choices of grouts. So pick the one that works best for you. Here, in this one here, I think I'm using an advanced stain resistant grout. Read the directions carefully. Always mix according to the directions, because some of these grouts have very specific amounts of water to add to them so that you get the proper properties of the grout, so the grout will perform as advertised. In general, however, you're going to spread your grout. You're going to spread a certain area of grout, and then you're going to let it dry for a certain amount of time. Sometimes, depending on the grout you use, it's going to be very little time, and you can only spread a very small area. Other times you're going to spread a lot more area and let it dry for a certain amount of time. As I said, check the instructions of the grout so you don't run into trouble. But in general, you spread your area, press the grout in, holding the float at a very low angle, and then once you've got that little bit of an area spread, you lift the grout to a very high angle so that you scrape off as much as possible. Then, so you spread your area, and then you move on to the next step. So once you spread your grout, you let it dry the appropriate amount of time. It's time to wash off. And generally the way I do it is I will work on an area and I'll clean off the tile and I'll clean off, work the grout line to get it nice and even. Sometimes that means going across on a diagonal, sometimes it means going along with the grout line. You're just going to have to see what works best. So what I find that works best is as you're cleaning up and you've scrubbed your tile and you got your grout line just the way you want it, and now you're going to do a final pass with the water. You're going to always wring out your sponge have as little water on it as possible. You want to keep it as dry as possible, just damp really. But then as you're doing your final swipes of the sponge stage of the grouting, you're going to pull your sponge in one direction, not going back and forth. Just pull it in one direction, flip it over, and then do another section. Always pull in one direction. If you go back and forth as you pull it the first time, you're taking the haze off. If you go back again without lifting the sponge and turning it, you are going to put the haze back on. So for the final stage of the initial cleanup is to always pull the sponge in one direction and not go back and forth. Once you've done your initial wash, you're going to let it dry and haze over. You're not going to let the grout set. You're just going to let the surface of the tile dry, and then you're going to go back with some clean water and do another wash. And you've got to always keep pulling the sponge in one direction without going back and forth. And this will generally leave the floor very clean. So this is the finished floor just after cleaning up, and it's had time for the floor to dry a bit. And now they just have to install the toilet, the vanity, or the plumbing fixtures, the tub, and everything else. Okay, so this is actually about a month later. I actually just came back to do this little vanity area with this glass tile. There are still no doors on the vanity, but everything else is done. This is actually now a functioning bathroom which the customer has been using for a while now. Completed master bathroom with accent wall, freestanding tub, and a steam shower. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, leave your comments. Also, don't forget, I always leave useful links in the description below. Again, thanks for watching, and hope to see you again in the next video.